All America, all the time. Sit down, buckle up, and get ready for The Dan Bongino Show.
Folks, I did everything I could during my last stint in government to clean up the weaponization mess. Everything in our power we could do, we did. Here's the problem. The weaponization of government does not end at the Atlantic or Pacific or northern or southern borders or the coastlines, the former coastlines. The threat is global. There is a huge threat out there that Secretary of State Marco Rubio is finally addressing. And I'm going to tell you something. If we don't address it soon, you think the President Trump weaponization trials up in New York, those humiliating Star Chamber circus trials with alleged fraud cases with no victims and all the BS that happened, you think that's bad? If we don't handle this threat, that's beyond the capacity. This is not an FBI, CIA thing. This is a global thing. If we don't handle this threat now, folks, I'm telling you, like, we are in a world of trouble. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. I want to address that. And also, I did an appearance. It's my first one in a while on Sean Hannity, a friend of mine, good man. I did an appearance on his radio show a couple of days ago, and I got a ton of emails. I'm still kind of surprised, like, this story hasn't gotten out there. He had asked me something about my year there at the FBI and something I had told him before. And I got a ton of email on it. They say, it's the first time I heard that. I was kind of surprised. So this is really important, the opening of the show. We've got a ton of stuff. We've got stupid shit liberals thing. I love how I just flow into that, right? Well, we've got stupid shit liberals thing. It's a real segment. We've got the gifts of socialism. Gifts. Big show today. Hey, if you're a homeowner, you probably thought, should I call American Financing to refinance and pay off this credit card debt? Then you second guess yourself because of the low mortgage rate you currently have. Well, listen, check this out. That low rate, it's not saving you if you're drowning in credit card interest at 25% or more. That's the math no one wants to face. But it's costing you thousands of dollars. Here's the truth. If you're only making minimum payments, that debt can follow you for years. That's why people are calling American Financing. They're saving customers an average of $800 a month by using their equity to finally break free from credit card debt. It's a call you need to make. You owe it to your family just to see what's possible. Just give them a call. There's no upfront fees. There's no pressure. It costs you nothing to find out what you could save every month. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. Call American Financing. Here's the number. Give them a shot. See what they can do for you. 888-994-7660. Again, that's 888-994-7660. The website's a .net address. If you want to go online, that's cool too. Visit them at americanfinancing.net/Bongino. That's americanfinancing.net/Bongino. All right, fellas, let's go. That was quick. I know I've been dragging on with the intros for a really long time because there's so much. These news days have been a little overwhelming, folks, have they not? I mean, on any given day, we're dealing with kinetic action in Iran, a new attorney general confirmation hearing. We didn't even get to like Jay Clayton, who could be the DNI. President Trump's got a big speech tonight from the Oval about election malfeasance and foreign interference. Like, this is not a slow news cycle. I know it's the summer, but politics doesn't rest in the summer. So I'm trying to pack all this stuff in. That's why the intros have been long. Dan, it's my birthday. There's no place I'd rather start my day with you and the Bongino Army. Erica, A30. Happy birthday, Erica. It is good to have you in the live chat. We love you. It's our interactive forum for all of you. Join us every day at 10 a.m. live. Love to have you. Happy birthday from me and the crew to you. This is important. It's not going to take long for me to explain this to you, but if you were concerned about some jackbooted thug knocking down your door, then, folks, you better damn well be concerned about the International Criminal Court. What? Yes. I'm telling you, Missalak Beeman, we did everything we could, including turning over 10% of the workforce. I know the doomers and the bullshitters who just, the second I got off the air, were eager to try to destroy us. You lost. You look like assholes now with the whole, nothing is happening. And then again, we tell you about what happened and you just ignore it and move on to your next grift. We get it. We get the bullshit. We've already seen through it. Thankfully, the show keeps kicking ass and taking names because everybody knows what happened because we can prove it. We turned over about 10% of the workforce in the FBI. We dismantled entire squads in the Washington field office that were involved in weaponization. There are active investigations still going on that take a while to put together. about this specific thing. However, the FBI, what happened in the DNI with Clapper and Brennan at the CIA and others, there's a house cleaning going on in government being marshaled by President Trump, who's had enough of this BS. But folks, there is a global effort to target President Trump after he leaves office. Listen to me. Beyond our shores. You got to read this piece. If there is one piece to read this summer, this is it. It's a Wall Street Journal piece. I think it's behind a paywall. Try to get a copy of it. This is the crux of the whole thing. Secretary of State Marco Rubio takes on the International Criminal Court. You're like, why is this important? Folks, the International Criminal Court, leave this up, please, is exactly what it says. It's an international criminal court that claims they can supersede nation states. We're a constitutional republic, the greatest constitutional republic with a founding documents in our Constitution. We don't need guidance from international criminal court members. The International Criminal Court's allies, they note, are signaling that they intend to target President Trump once his term ends, as the reaction to Mr. Rubio confirms, because Rubio's trying to get rid of this ICC nonsense. The European Union, supposedly our friends, by the way, won't say as much aloud, but called U.S. attacks on the court and threats on the court, quote, simply not acceptable. Listen, folks, flags in the chat, flags, they say Muttley time, red flags in the chat, please, right now. Remember this show? Audience archivist Judy, remember the date. The second President Trump leaves office, people pretending to be our friends. And so I see him right now. I see him out of the corner. Get it going. Folks, huge problem. You heard it here first. There is very little we can do about this ICC unless the State Department leads the way. Everything from sanctioning people involved in it. We have got to stop this now. Can you imagine what it's going to be like with an international criminal court led by whatever, some justice from Pakistan who's locking up military generals the second they leave U.S. soil? This is a huge threat. And you may think, oh, it's just a threat to the Trump family. It may not affect me. They won't be able to travel anywhere. That's just baked into the sad cake already. This does not stop at the Trump family, folks. Anyone involved in this Trump administration, by the way, moi included, I guarantee you is going to be a target of this ICC. And the whole piece, the rest of the piece, is focused on what the State Department and the Trump administration can do right now, because we're running out of time, to hit this body before it hits us. Military generals, battlefield lieutenants. You're going to see ICC warrants out the freaking wazoo wherever the wazoo is. I think we all have an idea. That's where you should shove the ICC. Just remember, you heard it here first. I titled today's show "An Urgent Threat on the Horizon." This is like a pack of great whites you're swimming into. They are dying. The second President Trump becomes former President Trump, for him or any family member to fly into any country where they think they can claim ICC jurisdiction and put him in handcuffs. You'll never see him again. Remember, I said it. Folks, again, we did everything we could there. I bring it up, too, because Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is involved, obviously, for the last couple of days in his confirmation hearing in the Senate. It's turned into exactly what you thought it was. Republicans bringing up substantive matters like, hey, what happened with public corruption cases? You know, what happened with the crime rate? Well, here's what happened. Here's what we did. The Democrats devolving into stupid shit like Sheldon Whitehouse, like Cash Patel. It's just stupid. These hearings have become nothing more than like TikTok clips for idiots who have no ability to get involved in show business. So they go up there and they just say a bunch of dumb stuff. Adam Schiff. Imagine Adam Schiff discussing government weaponization. Adam Schiff, the grand marshal of government weaponization and tyranny, even having the balls to bring up anything about weaponization. I'm going to bring this up in terms of an interview I did with Hannity the other day on the radio show, and I got some feedback on. Again, it kind of surprised me a little bit, but I'm going to explain to you maybe something I haven't explained well in the past. However, United States Senator Eric Schmidt, very good guy. I met him a couple times when I was working at the FBI job. Great guy, really gets it. He brought this up yesterday at the hearing with for hopefully soon to be Attorney General Todd Blanchard. He's like, weaponization? Are you guys shitting me? Like, you guys invented a bunch of stuff. A bunch of FARA stuff, a bunch of Presidential Records Act stuff, a bunch of fake fraud cases. Like, you invented it out of thin air to try to put President Trump in jail. And now you're complaining that this FBI, this DNI, and this CIA are working to combat using evidence-based methods, foreign interference in election, and go after public corruption. Are you freaking crazy? The stuff we did, we actually brought to a court. We brought to a court using evidence. You guys brought it to a court and lied. Good job, Senator Eric Schmidt here. Check this out. It's worth your time.
I heard one of my colleagues say that this is the most troubled Department of Justice in history. I happen to live through the previous administration where you had a Department of Justice completely weaponized against political opponents. They tried to throw their chief political opponent in jail, ruin his family's lives. You were his lawyer to see some of that, and I was with you in a courtroom in New York to witness that defense in one of those cases. Were aimed against Catholics in this country who happen to attend a traditional Catholic Latin Mass. Went after parents under the Patriot Act for showing up to school board meetings to object to critical race theory or the masking of their kids. We lived through Jack Smith, and the chairman has just revealed new revelations, of course, that he was reading text messages. By the way, Jack Smith testified under oath he didn't do that. He testified that they just had the phone logs. We know that's not true now. Jack Smith should be subject to prosecution for lying to Congress. So this weaponization, let's draw a distinction. When you go after your political opponents, that is a weaponization. When you hold people accountable who weaponize the justice system, that's not the same thing.
This is the mess that was thrown into our laps. I'm telling you, every single day. Every day I was there in that office on the 7th floor of the Hoover building. Every day. Hey, Dan, we got a problem. Really? Wait, what now? Every day, some email would pop up, some FBI device text exchange we found, that some leak to protect leakers or bad actors would appear every single day. Folks, I'm telling you, the place was a mess. This is fairly obvious. I'm unbelievably proud of the work we did. But folks, we're only one election away from it all being turned back. Listen, I'm sorry to tell you this. I know this probably isn't what you want to hear, but you fixed it for good, right? You can't fix an agency full of people for good because the people change. You can only fix the rules. It's like that old line, a man never steps in the same river twice. It's not the same man, and it's never the same water. Never the same river. It's not. It's different water. It's a different guy. Cells turn over. It's a different guy. It's an older guy, different experiences. Folks, we changed the guardrails and the rules, but I'm not going to bullshit you like the doomers and grifters. It'd be hard to change them back, but not impossible, because the media will hide it when they change the rules back because they don't want you to know. That is why this is a collective thing. It's not about me. It's not about Cash. It's not about the president, the vice president, Rubio, anyone else. It's about you. This is a consent to the governed constitutional republic, a representative democracy, representative of your needs. But we need you and the voters to show up and not trade this all back. We can't go back. We can't go back. I saw firsthand, and believe me when I tell you, history is going to tell this story and your eyes are going to open up. I'm going to get to Rubio in a second because it's one thing we covered and we're really concerned about the second we got in there, which is let me get to it now, which was just the explosion of left-wing violence. We lived through it. The George Floyd riots. What do you think? That was a bunch of Tea Party guys rioting in the streets? Like, are you really that? It's like the stuff come out the wrong end and clogged your brain? Are you an idiot? Those were left-wing groups. We saw it every night. Like, it's a mostly peaceful protest. Some guys getting this shit beat out of them. Like, buildings are burning down. The chop zone, people getting like shot. That was left-wing violence. One of the first things we did when we went in there is looked at who was financing this. It's still going on, by the way. And you've seen some of the results. Again, the doomers and bullshitters who've been totally humiliated will tell you otherwise. You've seen this Southern Poverty Law Center case going on. Again, everybody's entitled to, innocence till proven guilty. There's the infamous picture. Mostly peaceful protest. Freaking buildings burned down. Dudes in like riot gear with ski glasses on for the smoke. Sometimes I forget that. Dude had like protective goggles on, like he's in like the locker room after a Game 7 World Series win, protecting his eyes from the champagne. This is from the smoke. You've already seen it. The first Antifa prosecution successful in U.S. history. The mission's not over, but this stuff was going on from day one. The BLM arrest, people probably forgot about that. Happened? Yeah, just look it up. Don't listen to the doomers. The Southern Poverty Law Center, already mentioned that. These are ongoing now. And the incidents of left-wing violence, although still out there, and these cases are still going on, folks, under the president's leadership, they're going down dramatically because people are starting to get the hint that if you fund this stuff and you think you're going to get a pass from the left-wing media, mostly peaceful, put the ski goggles on, keep the smoke out of my eyes. We don't care if they try to give you a pass. You're not going to get a pass with this justice system or this State Department or this White House. Here's Secretary Rubio, who's just killing it with dual role. I don't know how many guys, like 47 different jobs. See the number. Here's Secretary Rubio yesterday talking about how big of a problem left-wing violence has been through the course of history, and the media just continues to ignore it. Nobody's ignoring it now. Check this out.
One 18-month period between 1971 and 1972, the FBI counted some 2,500 bombings on American soil, a rate of nearly 5 a day. The overwhelming share of that violence came from left-wing extremists. Between 1970 and 1980, 93% of terrorist attacks in the West came from the far extremist left. These are numbers that would shock most Americans today because we've been taught to believe that this kind of political violence, it simply doesn't exist or it's being exaggerated. But it does exist, and we're actually underestimating it. And our nations bear the scars to prove it.
And there are some people not working at the Department of Justice and the FBI anymore because they tried to parrot the same bullshit narrative. It's not really left-wing violence. Really? You sure about that? One of the questions I loved to ask when I was there, and I'm desperately trying to not make this show about the past year because it's just, there's other stuff to talk about. That's why we talk about socialism a lot. But one of the questions I would ask all the time is why? Why do you think that? No, explain to me again why. And after like the second or third bullshit explanation where they trip over their own words, we realize like this person's got to go, can't be in that position anymore, or can't be in the job because the judgment is so terrible. I was on Hannity's show and this came up the other day. He had said to me, he's like, hey, you remember the conversation we had where you told me early on that you were going to do the year? And here's why. I said, yeah, I remembered it. And, we still get this question a lot. And I answered the question the same way, but I gave a little more detail. And I got a bunch of feedback on it. People said that's interesting. I never heard you say that before. Well, why, folks, walking away from that was really hard. I'll keep this short, but I think it's important, especially with the Bongino army out there, the doomers and the whatever, like they've already embarrassed themselves. It was hard. It's hard to walk away from power like that. That's what it is. Institutional power. I mean, it's power behind a microphone too, but it's different. To walk away is hard. I really, really enjoyed the job. It was tough. There were a lot of days where, but a lot of jobs are tough. Like anything worth having, you got to suffer for a little bit, right? No one wants an easy job. I mean, you're not even going to remember it. It was tough to walk away. But one of the reasons I decided early on and told Sean and, Mike Davis and others, we love Mike Davis. By the way, can we get him on the show? Mike Davis. Yeah, we'd love Mike Davis. Was because I knew eventually I was going to become a distraction. Not because of anything I did, just because everything I did became an issue because I did it. It didn't matter if I cured cancer at the FBI. There'd be some controversy that I was starving cancer doctors of revenue. So I figured I had about 100 days to kind of go in there and shake the place up and change everything I could. Every problem there, from medium to big to small, everything I could. I had about 100 days. I had about another 100 days to kind of let it settle a little bit, and another 100 days to get people in place where we could make these changes permanent, at least with the people in charge. Unless the administration changed, then they move other people in, as I said before. But I knew after a while, after about a year or so, that me being in the position, you notice you don't hear much about the new deputy director. He's a good guy. But you don't hear much because the media just loves to hit my name. It's just like a click for them. So everything became a big deal. From like me going down to grapple with the guys and like, oh my gosh, he hurt his shoulder or his elbow. My elbow was sore. I was a 50-year-old grappling with, like, that was a story. Like, nobody would care about that with anyone else. So I knew after a year I could go in and do what I needed to do, but it was after then. And everybody knew that. That's why the president came on my show after that. I was the first guest, But I came up, I explained it that way, and a ton of people, they said, I've never heard you say that before. Well, it's true. Sean knew it, Mike knew it, everybody knew it. So that's why I did that. And I'm really proud of what we did, folks. Really proud. All right, I got to get to some really important stuff. I don't want to, again, make this show. I rarely talk about it, as you know. However, it's important we get that out there. But there are real fights going on. The real fight is on the other side of the political fence right now. It is. We're cleaning up our movement. That's great. But this battle against socialism and stupid shit liberals think is unbelievably important because the kids are being indoctrinated to believe. And by the way, I am not attacking the younger kids. I'm going to explain to you why I think in this segment, we should have aired this conversation you and I had before the show, Justin. It was so good. To the young folks out there who listen to my show, by young, I mean like 16 to 25. That's in our society now, it's still relatively young, right? It wasn't 20 years ago, 30, but you get the point. I don't blame you for being angry at the system. Are we clear on that? I can't go forward. Everyone in the chat, do you understand? I do not blame these kids. It is the wrong attack. I see some, not a lot, but some people in the conservative movement, they're almost angry at these kids for believing this stuff. I'm not angry at them at all. The system did screw you over. What? Yeah, it did. But the system that screwed you over is the government. I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring receipts. I don't blame you for being angry. I'm just telling you, direct your anger at the right spot. It's not us that did this to you. It is the government. There's a reason you got screwed over. And we need to change our messaging to reach out to them, or else the socialism is going to be the only off-ramp to that highway. And we can't have that because it leads to nowhere. Quick break, and I'll bring receipts, folks. A hugely important segment coming up. Hey, the stakes right now cannot be higher. We finally have a country fighting hard for America first. Can't lose focus now. You know, the left is just getting ready on the sidelines. I just said this before. They want to take over the government again, go back to censoring speech, attacking companies. One of the companies that's been with us from the beginning and been with the Christian conservative movement, proudly, by the way, not quietly, proudly, is Patriot Mobile. Their service is incredible. I have it on my phone. It takes just minutes to switch over. Paula switched over both our phones. They offer premium priority nationwide service on all three major U.S. networks. Unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, international roaming, and a 100% US-based customer support team. You can switch in minutes while keeping your phone and your number. That's important. Unlike other carriers, Patriot Mobile puts its money towards causes defending faith, family, and freedom, contributing millions each year to organizations on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights. It's a great company, too. It's a great company. Patriot Mobile isn't just talking about saving America. They're putting their business behind the fight every single day. Switch to Patriot Mobile today. Throw them your support. It's worth it. Great service. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Dan for a free month of service. It's a great deal. That's patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Make that switch today. Thank you, Patriot Mobile. Today's show also brought to you by Helix Sleep. Get a good night's sleep. I have the Midnight Lux mattress. The only problem with a Helix mattress, you're not going to want to sleep anywhere else ever again. It's like sleeping on a cloud. I love Helix mattresses. You don't want to get out of bed. That's a problem. The other day, I was in there and I got up at 5:50. What time did I get up at? 6:45. I was dragging. It was too comfortable. Helix. For a long time, I woke up feeling restless, a little bit sore, shoulders hurt. Switched over to Helix mattresses years ago. I think this is my third one. Love them. Won't sleep on anything else. I like how easy it is to find the right fit for you. I took the Helix sleep quiz. You should take it too. They'll match you with a mattress designed for your sleep style. Support feels great. The cooling feature, especially down here in Florida, has made a huge difference, especially when temperatures start to rise. Your body needs to be cool to go to sleep. I sleep more comfortably. I wake up feeling fantastic. A lot of deep sleep. My sleep measure shows it. Helix backs every mattress with a 120-night sleep trial and a limited lifetime warranty. Try it with confidence. Check them out. Helix. Helix has an exclusive offer for my listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/Dan for 27% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/Dan for 27% off site-wide, exclusive for my listeners. helixsleep.com/Dan. Thank you, Helix. Get a good night's sleep. helixsleep.com/Dan. Okay. Folks, you're starting to see this now. We are battling a well-funded global propaganda machine that is dying to, from the inside, destroy the United States and make it implode. I've played for you 100 times the Yuri Bezmenov, the Soviet Union KGB defector, the clip of him saying the Soviets knew they couldn't take on the United States in a mano-a-mano war. They would lose. The United States is the greatest military in the history of this rock we call Earth. Hands down. Thank you, the men and women who serve. We love you on the show. We're all America all the time here. Always. Nobody on the globe can take us on one-on-one. They can't. Dan, how are you so sure? Because the record's there to prove it. We will kick your ass. We don't lose wars. Public perception may turn against it, but I promise you, when we have marshaled the American will to go and take on a foreign enemy, no matter how big, the Germans, the Nazis, even the Cold War and the Soviets, we win because we kick ass and take names. And you should be proud of that. Our military is amazing. It's incredible. The bravery, the technology. There is a well-funded global propaganda machine, I promise you, though, out there trying to destroy this place from the inside with conspiracy theories, with the MAGA tent turning against each other. People up is down, down is up, west is east, east is west. You see this now. People don't know what to believe anymore. And one of the things you're seeing now with a massive resurgence in the United States is the resurrection yet again of socialism. Peter St. Onge has been on the show. He is just fantastic. I strongly encourage you to follow him on X. He is really, really well informed. He puts together some great pieces. Guys, this is why, and ladies out there, this is why I don't blame the kids. I blame the kids for eventually not seeking truth. If you just choose to be ignorant, then that's on you. You have to understand. This is the conversation I had with Justin. I wish made it on the show this morning, but I'll have it again right here. Pretend Justin's right next to me. Folks, your kids who are in these public schools, not all, but many, from kindergarten through 12th grade in high school, and many of them in college too, depending on where they go, have been indoctrinated for over 10 years, over a decade of their life, the most impressionable decade where they have no life experience to counteract or contradict what they're being told. They have been told for 10 plus years that socialism is sharing. Sharing is caring. It's all about Barney the dinosaur. It's all about Sweden. Look at Sweden. Isn't Sweden wonderful? You notice like people aren't moving to Sweden, like Swedes move here too. It's kind of weird. St. Onge addressed this in this video. I got 2 clips from it, but this is why it is a mistake. It is a tactical error in messaging judgment to attack the kids and not go after the system indoctrinating the kids. It's a huge mistake. You're going to lose them forever, I promise. Here's part 1 of him describing this global propaganda machine funding everything from schools to indoctrination. Check this out.
A majority of Gen Z now wants to replace our economic system with socialism. According to a new study by Cato, over half of 18 to 25-year-olds, 53%, have a favorable view of socialism, which beats capitalism that scores just 45. Meanwhile, 38%, 4 in 10, have a favorable view of communism. So communism is now just 7 points behind capitalism. Impressive approval for breadlines, secret police, and gulags. Worse, the trend is getting bad fast. Seniors favor capitalism 3-1 to socialism and 13-1 to communism. Even millennials, capitalism beats socialism by 10. So Gen Z is a 18-point swing compared to avocado toast pronouncing millennials. 12 years of government school, followed by 4 years of progressive finishing school to marinate them in capitalism for 16 of their first 22 years. 84% of public school teachers and 93% of college professors are liberal, meaning socialist. In one study, donations ran 95-1 Democrat. Another study sampled 118 professors who donate to politics, found 1 out of 118 donate exclusively to Republicans and 0 donated to Trump. In other words, liberals do not have kids, but they just take yours. Recent study found 1 in 3 high school Gen Z do not know who George Washington is. 61% had no idea what we were just celebrating the 250th anniversary of. 11% guessed the first election. 4% guessed the Plymouth Rock. 30% did not comprehend the question. Recent study found 1 in 3 high school Gen Z do not know who George Washington is. 61% had no idea what we were just celebrating the 250th anniversary of.
It's in the
11%
headline.
guessed the first election. 4% guessed the Plymouth Rock. 30% did not comprehend the question.
Didn't comprehend. Justin finds that part tragic. You didn't comprehend the question. You don't even know the 250th thing was the two. Folks, the 250th celebration is in the headline. It was celebrated on Independence Day. Independence Day, where we signed this thing called the Declaration of Independence. It's in the name. It's like asking what we're celebrating on Martin Luther King's birthday, or like who's buried in Grant's tomb. It's in the name. Yeah, exactly. Then you go, we're celebrating independence from who? This is why I'm telling you, your instinct is to get mad at the kids. Folks, I almost cursed with that. How in the hell is a child in school from kindergarten through college, through their, in many cases, early 20s, probably 15 years of their lives, how are you in school and you never learn that Independence Day is the day we declared independence? It's in the freaking name. It's in the name. This is why, though, I know the instinct is to want to, like, hit the kids. I don't mean physically. I mean, take them on here. It's not their fault. Imagine sending your kid to a trade school for carpentry, and then the kid comes out after 15 years, because this is a similar analogy, and you're sitting there with a hammer and a box of stainless steel nails, and he goes, "What's that?" You'd be like, "What the? What's that? What's that?" It's a hammer and a nail. Who runs the public schools? Government and liberal teachers. Younglings out there, the younglings. Don't get mad at us, bro. We didn't screw this up. We're trying to give you school choice to get out of these shitholes. That's our thing. MAGA people, conservative people. You don't want a choice? You want to go to a school where in 15 years you don't know Independence Day, celebrating independence? It's in the effing title. It's in the title. It's right there. The lead isn't buried. Honestly, do you know who's buried in Grant's tomb? It's not a trick question. I guarantee you some people don't. Who's buried in Grant's tomb? Grant! That was a Woody Woodpecker episode.
30%
Folks,
did not comprehend the question.
How do you not comprehend the question? Justin can't get over that part. A third did not comprehend the question. Folks, younglings, we did not do this to you. We are trying to help you. The government did this to you through their public schools, with their tax dollars. They did this. We're trying to give you a way out. We're trying to give you an exit ramp to freedom, liberty, and prosperity. You don't want it. You want to stay there. We're trying to help. It's not your fault. I get it. Here's part 2 of this video, but pay close attention to this. I'm going to explain to you after this how exactly the government did this to you, younglings. Not us. We're trying to help you. We're trying to help you. I promise on my integrity, we're trying to help you. Here's part 2. Check this out.
The other half is Congress and the Fed made capitalism look like a rigged casino where boomers own the chips and young people valet park the Lamborghinis, raining cheap money upon Wall Street and corporations and leaving the inflation for the little guy. This pumped home prices vertical to the point the average first-time home buyer is 40. Groceries went vertical to the point 4 in 10 Gen Z buy now, pay later users are buying groceries. Now, given young people don't have any assets to pump, but they do eat, they got none of the juice, but all the squeeze. Meaning Gen Z does not love communism for the gulags and breadlines. They love it because they've been sold a bill of goods, and their communist professors connect the dots to a revolution that will finish them off. Now, the fix to education is simple. Return K-12 to parents and government grants and student loans to universities beyond apolitical, medical engineering, and basic research, and restore an economy where nobody is coming to stop you or bail you out. So slash red tape, slash tax rates, make it as easy to start a company or create a job as ordering an Uber, and in return, end the bailouts.
Corvette Mike in the chat. You see that? What color was George Washington's white horse? If you don't know the answer to that, it's probably because your teachers are really stupid. So I'm just asking you. I'm not blaming you. I get it. I'm just saying don't choose stupid. Sayak, don't choose stupid. The government did this to you. What Peter St. Onge said about that, that analogy he gave of the young American citizen busting his ass as like a valet in some fancy hotel. He's making, what, I don't know, $10 an hour plus some tips maybe, and he's parking a bunch of older folks' Lamborghinis. Do you blame him for being pissed? I don't. If you're looking for me to say, oh, F that guy, you got the wrong show. I'm not saying that at all. And also, by the way, I'm not blaming the older guy either. I'm definitely not some anti-capitalist lunatic. I'm as free markets as they get. But the system is broken. But the system is run by government. Folks, I want you to think about this. The average American mom and dad, 2.1 kids, white fence and a picket fence and a dog. Back in the 70s, you could buy a house for $20,000, $30,000. I don't even know what my father and mother bought our house in Smithtown for. We lived for a little bit. I have no idea, but I know it wasn't a lot. My father bought a Ford Pinto, and I think he had the window sticker. Remember the Pinto, that disaster? I think the car was like $3,000 or something. What happened? Here's what happened. Folks, listen, it's not hard, I promise. This is not a calculus equation I'm about to lay out there. It's not a philosophy lesson. It's a fact. The United States government started spending a lot of money it didn't have. Just put in any search engine, the Google machine, anywhere else, Grok. What are U.S. government annual debt and deficit levels? And you'll see it's gone up. What the hell does that have to do with the Pinto and houses? When the government prints more money, supply and demand, when supply increases, you'll see the market clearing price of things. When you see a lot of stuff, they're worth less. If you have a limited supply of everything bagels, you can charge more. Hey, there's only 2 left, buy them now. If you have 20 million everything bagels, then you're throwing them away. People just take them for free. You print more money, it works the same way. Just like making more bagels. You print more money to spend more money like the government does. The value of money goes down. So what happened? Older folks, what people call boomers and others, who had houses that they bought before government debt and money printing exploded, saw the value of money go down, but the value of what they had, their assets went up. A house that was worth $3,000, $10,000, $30,000, $100,000, it's now worth $1 million. But it's the same house, at least the same piece of land. Maybe you did some upgrades here or there, but that doesn't explain a 200, 300, 10,000 increase in value percent. The government did that. That's not natural. Nothing changed about the house or the lot. What changed was the government. That's who screwed you. So a bunch of folks who had assets, gold, treasury, inflated, protected securities, cars, homes, diamonds, artwork. If you had that, it exploded because the government made money worth less and assets worth more. And you got effed. The government created a series of shitty public schools for you where you're in your junior year of college and you don't know who's buried in Grant's tomb. You don't know what Independence Day. So be straight. Who was the host of the Dan Bongino, but Dan Bongino show? That's a question they get wrong. They created public schools where people aren't taught to think critically anymore. They did that to you. They inflated assets that this generation 50 plus owns, and you're getting locked out of. They did that. The two areas that people complain about the most, healthcare is too expensive and education. It doesn't bother you that the government has the biggest footprint in healthcare and education, and yet socialists tell you, man, capitalism did it. How government pays for like 40 to 50% of healthcare and is just mobbed, or what's the new word? Mogged. Totally mogged like the education. They popped up in a camera taking a selfie together. The government mogged it. Totally. The government took over the education system. Your complaint should be directed at government, not us. Look at areas like government generally stayed out of in healthcare. Generally. Dentistry and LASIK eye surgery. You go to a dentist, the prices are pretty reasonable. Again, not everywhere, but largely compared to healthcare. LASIK for your eyes. The government early on wasn't heavily involved in that. It was like cash and carry. The cost of LASIK effectively has been stable or gone down because the government didn't get involved and try to take it over. The tax code. I love how the liberals gripe about tax code carve-outs. That's not our thing. Conservatives don't want any carve-outs. We want a flat tax. We want a fair tax. Just do your homework. We didn't do this to you. I hate tax code carve-outs. Even tax code carve-outs that benefit me. I hate them. But it was Democrats and Republicans combined, by the way, some, not the conservative ones, who threw that on your back. Interesting. The price of LASIK is $20. Oh, this is cool. AI overview. The guys just did this. Here, receipts, folks, right here. The average cost of LASIK eye surgery is about $4,400 for both eyes. Interestingly, the price of LASIK is actually about 20% lower today than it was in 1998, adjusted for inflation. It's because insurance doesn't overwhelmingly, and the government didn't intervene early in this market. They were just right there. Folks, we didn't do this to you, okay? Rent control. You can't tell a landowner and a building owner in New York City who's invested his whole life in a property, you can't make money on the property. Well, man, the quality of the apartments in New York City is shit. No kidding. A landlord's not going to go in there and fix a property he's losing money on. Does this not make sense to you? We didn't do this to you. Socialism did this to you. Folks, I know what you're going to say, too. I know your kids are going to be like, well, I learned from Professor Joey Bag of Donuts in University of East Tuna Fish. He said that if we just need to be more socialist like Sweden. Sweden is not socialism. It's a big government, or was, welfare state moving away from that. Socialism is the government controlling the means of production. The factories, the farms, all that. That's socialism. You guys can look this up, you know. Again, I'm trying to help you. You don't know what you're asking for. You want to give up your property to the government? Ask a Cuban what it was like to own a house before Castro, before they came in and took everything from him. Here's John Stossel. He does amazing videos. I'm strongly encouraging you to follow St. Ange. Follow John Stossel too. He's been doing this for decades, for probably 40 years now, 30, 40 years. He has been doing videos warning people about the dangers of being misled into what socialism is. Here he is on two parts of this on, it's just like Sweden. It's not just like Sweden. Don't choose stupid. We're trying to help. Check this out.
Today, many Americans don't like capitalism. Socialism would be better, they say. Not repressive Russian or Venezuelan socialism, but democratic socialism, like what's practiced in Scandinavia.
I think we should look to countries like Denmark, like Sweden.
Say, wow, you want to be like Sweden? Kinda. Sounds pretty good.
People interviewed in this just-released PBS documentary say America should be more like Sweden.
It seems like it's like a place that, like, no problems or something.
Volvos and socialized medicine.
Volvo is now a Chinese company.
Johan Norberg made this documentary because he wanted to set the record straight.
Sweden is not socialist because the government doesn't own the means of production. To see that, you have to go to Venezuela or to Cuba or North Korea. But we did have a period in the 1970s and 1980s when we had something that resembled socialism, a big government that taxed and spent heavily. And that's the period in Swedish history when our economy was going south.
So much so that even socialists complained about the high taxes.
Astrid Lindgren, who wrote the very popular children's books, Pippi Longstocking, for instance, she was a social democrat, but she had made a lot of money from her books. She found that she paid 102% in taxes.
Socialism is not Sweden. It was a big government welfare state. But even if you want to call it socialism, even the Swedes got away from it because they realized when you give money to the government, they have no incentive to control the costs or the quality of what they're spending your money on or the quality of the product because they're not even buying it for themselves. Here's a quickie follow-up to what happened after Sweden themselves moved away and is still moving away because of complaints about social services, education, healthcare, as they move away from the big government welfare state model. Even your own example. Did you see the young turd in there? Kank? Sweden, that sounds great. So move there, bro. Move there. Just go. No one is going to miss you. Go pay the 102% tax, right? Pippi Longstocking's author did. Here's part 2 about what happened when they got away from that. Even your own example blows up in your face. Don't choose stupid. Please. It's a choice. Don't take it. Check this out.
Wrote this angry essay about a witch who was quite mean and vicious, but not at all as vicious as the Swedish tax authorities.
And yet, even though taxes were high, they did not bring in enough money to fund Sweden's welfare state.
There were waiting lines to get health care. People couldn't get the pension that they thought that they depended on for the future. At that point, the Swedish population just said, enough, we can't do this.
Sweden then reduced government's role. They cut public spending, privatized the national rail network, abolished certain government monopolies, eliminated inheritance taxes, and sold state-owned businesses like the maker of Absolute Vodka.
Lower taxes, reform the pension system so that it wasn't unsustainable.
The results from the spending cuts and privatization?
This impoverished peasant nation developed into one of the world's richest countries.
Even their own arguments don't work for them. Do you want logic and reason, or do you want talking points that are just factually inaccurate? Again, stupid's a choice. Don't take it. But don't blame the kids. They've been told this. They have no reason to look it up. They've been told an apple's an orange. And then someone goes, that's not an orange, that's an apple. And you're like, I've been told for 20 years this. They think you're crazy. I'm just asking you to see the world through their eyes. Indoctrination at a young age is really tough. I was having a conversation the other day. If this sounds in any way pretentious, forgive me in advance. It's like mentioning your education. I don't mean it this way, but nobody knew who I was from Adam until I was like late 30s, probably closer to 40. Nobody. I remember the first time when I ran for office, someone recognized who I was, who I didn't know. They had seen me in the Severna Park newspaper, whatever. And I was coming out as Big Vanilla Jim. It was a gym I used to work out. And the guy was like, hey, you that Dan Bongino guy? And I'm thinking, how the hell does this guy know who I am? He's like, I saw you in the Severna Park paper. I remember that moment like it was yesterday. I'm still talking about it. But can you imagine what it's like to be like, who's like a super famous guy? I always bring up the Beebs, this Beeb. Howie Mandel. No, not the Guy. Bad example. Guy's not even here, so we can make fun of him because he's not here. Guy doesn't Mandel. That's not even Mandel. It's Howie Mandel. You're getting the whole story messed up. He didn't even know his name. But imagine like a guy like the Beebs, right? This kid got famous when he was like, how old? Like 13 or something? Can you imagine the corrupting effects of people coming up to you at like 13, 14, 15, 16, before your brain's even fully formed? No matter what you do, everyone telling you how wonderful it is. You sneeze like, oh my gosh, that's the greatest sneeze I've ever. It was melodic. Can I have the tissue? You're like, oh, that's freaking gross, bro. That they get propagandized. I don't know how these kids don't all grow up to be like serial killers. It's corrupting even at 40 and 50. When it really is. You have to like level yourself. That's why I don't get out too much. You imagine going to school for over a decade of your life, being told that Sweden's socialism, it's not, it's a welfare state, and that the Sweden socialism called welfare state is fantastic, even though Swedes themselves are moving away from it. You're making the wrong argument. I'm going to show you some of the gifts from this socialism in these two headlines coming up in a minute, because this stuff has a real consequence, folks. This stuff has a real consequence. Don't put up the headline yet, but China being more popular in these PR polls than the United States. What? Doomers and grifterism. We're all going to die in 10 years. 10 years later, we're all going to die in the next 10 years. 10 years later. No, it's the next 10. When is this mass death from global extinction going to happen? Quick break. I'll show you what I mean. Gifts of socialism. When I say gifts, I mean kicks in the nads. That's the gifts of socialism. Kick me. You remember Beavis and Butthead, the coach? This year, America celebrates its 250th birthday. They know. Preborn knows. A nation founded on the belief that every person's endowed by the Creator with the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Amen, Preborn. Yet every day, many unborn babies are denied the most basic of those rights, the right to life. That's why I love this organization. I really do. Protecting the unborn is a huge, huge, huge priority of mine. Preborn does incredible work. At Preborn's network clinics, mothers facing unexpected pregnancies are welcomed with compassion, practical support, and a free ultrasound. And when a mother sees her baby and hears that tiny heartbeat for the first time, her baby is twice as likely to be given the gift of life. Incredible. Friends, these babies are our future parents, teachers, pastors, entrepreneurs, first responders. Every life saved strengthens families, communities, and generations to come. If we can't take care of the unborn, the most vulnerable, then what's the point of any of this? That's why I love Preborn. Just $28 provides one life-saving ultrasound. And in honor of America's 250th birthday, we're asking friends to consider a special gift of $250 to multiply their impact and help save even more babies' lives. This is an important mission. To donate, dial pound 250 and say keyword baby. That's pound 250, say keyword baby, pound 250, keyword baby, or give securely at preborn.com/Bongino. That's preborn.com/Bongino. Every gift is tax deductible. Preborn.com/Bongino today. Thank you, Preborn. Love your mission there. Thank you, Preborn. Preborn.com/Bongino. Go over today. Folks, I've told you over and over, gifts of socialism. When they're gifts, they're really kicks in the nads. You got to do these freaking lunatics who believe in this shit. The gifts of socialism. Here's one of the gifts. I saw this article in the Daily Mail this morning. Popped up on one of my feeds. This is what happens when you indoctrinate kids with the red-green axis. You know, the people telling you, like, the climate, that any change in climate's going to destroy. They keep changing their mind, by the way. There's going to be an ice age. There's going to be global warming. There's going to be a lot of fires. There's going to be not enough fires. There's going to be earthquake. Not enough earthquake. They change their mind all the time because nothing they tell you is based on facts or reality. They took the highway ramp to stupid a long time ago. Here's Daily Mail headline. Again, the doomerism, a dismal glimpse into the future. Scientists give their chilling predictions for life in basically in the next 100 years here. From meat grown in labs to intense fires raging across the globe, life in 2100 could look very different from today. Oh my gosh, it sounds horrible. Holy Moses. By the way, are these the same scientists who told us it's going to be an ice age? And then it wasn't going to be an ice age, we're all going to burn to death? These are the same scientists buying homes on Martha's Vineyards. They're telling you it's going to sink. That's according to a new study that predicts what we can expect in the next century. Experts say that significant global warming, here we go again, they're back to global warming again. It's now more likely than not, with temperatures potentially rising as much as 4 degrees Celsius. Oh my gosh. Why would you want to have kids in this hellhole? We're all going to burn to death. Like Linda Hamilton in a dream sequence in Terminator 2. Holding on to the fence. We're all going to die. Did you ever notice that life only gets better? Can you imagine this? Imagine being a young person. Again, I'm not blaming you. Being told we're all going to die in 10 years, for 15 years of your life, being told everyone's going to die and wondering why they're all depressed. This is why, these young people, they go to their grandparents who may have grown up. Most of them are dying off now, but great-grandparents as kids. And they say, oh man, we got it so horrible. And the great-grandparent who grew up in the Great Depression is like, what? What, are you kidding me? Do you even know what a government cheese line looks like? They're like, don't get mad at the kid though. The teacher's telling them that. Here's how you get this Washington Post headline. This is insane. This is like, get yourself in a freaking padded room. Stat. Seriously, seek medication. Sorry, it's just Siri went off my phone. China's become more Okay, I thought I was going to do it again. Put that headline up again. Sorry. I said you can't say anything that sounds like that. China's become more popular than the U.S. and much of the world. Folks, the rest of the world's being told this too. Why? Because you've got a global propaganda machine desperate to dismantle the United States from the inside out and cause an internal implosion like a submersible a mile underwater without pressurization. This is all because they're being told a bunch of candidly stupid shit. This is why they believe a bunch of stupid shit. It's so stupid that normal people who've lived, you notice that when was it Peter St. Onge was talking about people who have a favorable view of socialism, as people get older, it gets more and more unfavorable. That's because they've lived life and have had experiences with things like sharing is caring and that's socialism. They're like, that's not what actually happens, man. Do you have our new stupid shit? These guys. Stupid shit liberals believe. I did not do that. These guys, I did tell them put something together. I did not know it was going to go down that road. I told them Paula's going to hate that. Paula's going to, Paula, if you're watching, you can text me, right? She's going to, one more time. Just stupid shit liberals believe. These guys, folks, you can look this stuff up again. This guy is not dumb. Remember Buttigieg? You remember Buttigieg, right? Ran for president, was like Pothole Pete when he was the mayor, went over to the Department of Transportation, did absolutely nothing except film videos of himself riding a bike 100 feet. I see the Mutleys in the chat. Buttigieg is back. He's probably going to run for president. This is why I said last night at Jesse Waters' show, don't panic about the Democrats. They have no past, no present, no future. Their past was Obama, Biden, embarrassing. Their present's hair gel guy, Newsom, and Buttigieg. And their future's like Mamdani, you can't even figure out the temperature for air conditioning in City Hall. Don't panic about these people. Just fight back. Here's Buttigieg passing off a talking point that if there was the number one talking point of stupid shit liberals believe is that the wealthy don't pay the same tax rates as teachers and nurses. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just not true. You're just making it up. But because you've been indoctrinated into believing that a bunch of rich people have somehow stolen money from you, I don't blame you for thinking, but you can go and look this up, They want the Swedish 102% tax rate, Pippi Longstocking. Here's Buttigieg repeating this exact same talking point. Folks, it's just not true. You can look this up, Check this out.
Nobody who really stops and thinks about it can accept us being told we can't have nice things like rural hospitals and good roads and great schools.
And childcare.
And childcare. at a moment when the wealthiest people in this country pay a lower rate on their taxes than the nurses who work in those hospitals, the teachers who teach in those schools, and the workers who work on those roads. People know that we can do better than that. And I think people know that we can have a better future than the one that we're in.
Look at these two morons clapping, and the people in the crowd clapping like that's true. Folks in the crowd, you can whip out your phone and look this up, you know. Here's a screenshot from my phone. This is not a game or a trick. Just put it and try it yourself. I went to Grok yesterday on my phone. Do the wealthiest 1% of U.S. taxpayers pay a lower rate than nurses? You can do this yourself, bro. And Sarah for Iowa? No. The wealthiest 1% of U.S. taxpayers pay a substantially higher effective federal tax rate than nurses. That's from the Tax Foundation. The top 1% average an effective rate of 26.3%. That's just federal taxes, not state, local, property. They earn 20% of the income, but paid 38.4% of all federal income taxes. Nurses pay a far lower rate than that. There's an effective rate, if you look at the bottom of that, there's an effective rate they pay at about 5 to 15%. You can look this up, man. The problem with Boot Edge is he's not stupid like AOC. AOC's just dumb. She probably just doesn't know. She's good at TikToks, which is dangerous in and of itself. Buttigieg is not stupid. He's just lying, but you accept being lied to when you can just look this up. Why is that a problem? Because you're going to solve a problem that doesn't exist. We got to tax them more. They pay less than we do. They don't pay less than you do. You're just making that up. Watch what happens. I need you to watch this clip. This is Brianna Lyman on CNN. She does a great job. I think she's at the Federalist. She's on a CNN panel talking about voter integrity and election fraud. This is what happens when you confront liberals with facts. They really get pissed off because, turning back to the beginning of the show, from the time they're in kindergarten till the time they're in their early 20s, they have been indoctrinated to believe in apples and orange. Don't blame them. They've been told for almost 2 decades of their lives that Trump's a fascist, the rich don't pay any taxes, so they believe stupid shit. They also believe that there's no evidence of voter fraud, the system's beyond reproach, nobody cheats in elections. That's just dumb. So the CNN panel's classic, but I initially posted because Brianna does a good job presenting actual evidence of things that happen in Georgia worth looking into, that the FBI and the DOJ is looking into now. And she even says, I won't even cite my own work because I know you'll think it's biased. So I'm going to cite the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which is not a right-wing outlet. I didn't notice this when I cut the clip. I want you to watch the other panelists' face change as Brianna Lyman goes on for 45 seconds to a minute, citing evidence from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution of potential malfeasance in Georgia. Watch the guy's face go from smiling to fidgeting funny to what am I going to say to this? Now I just look like an idiot. This is what happens when you confront liberals with facts they've been indoctrinated to believe otherwise against. Watch the faces. Don't miss this. This is great. Check this out.
I do have evidence in Georgia, and I know people don't want me to cite my own reporting, so I will cite the Atlanta Journal-Constitution because it is left-wing. We know that during the 2020 recount, 3,000 ballots were scanned twice. The Secretary of State's office could not confirm if those were counted, though election integrity activists say they were counted. We know during the audit of the 2020 presidential election, there were, quote, several cases in which election workers mistyped vote totals or allocated votes to the wrong candidate. The state election board gave a slap on the wrist. We know that governor said it was.
Did you see it? Did you hear if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, did you hear the sound effects? First they're laughing, and then they're not laughing, and then the guy, he starts and he starts he looks like he's gonna pick his nose or something like that. He doesn't know what to do. What is he gonna do? Call out the left-wing Atlanta Journal-Constitution? This is This is what happens when you confront them. Look at it. Oh, shit. Look at his face. Look how pissed off he is. He's like, man, who's shitting my Cheerios? Oh, here we go. Let me fidget now. Don't touch your face like that. You can get sick. He doesn't know what to do. What's he going to say? They're lying? The left-wing AJC? He doesn't know what to do. This happens every time you confront one of these people who's been indoctrinated into believing stupid shit. It happened up on the Hill yesterday. One of the things they'll do, liberals, when they're clawing at their faces, crapping their diapers and all this stuff, when the panic attacks set in because they realize they're being confronted with facts. The wealthiest, in fact, pay twice as much in tax rate percentage-wise than nurses and teachers. There is evidence of voter malfeasance and misfeasance. There is evidence of it. What do you think they're investigating now? You think they're making it up and swearing to it? Career FBIs? I'm just going to make this up. We're not the left. They get mad because they've been told. I use this example. They tell you in undercover school when you're an agent, don't ever, ever be the one to arrest the bad guy. Ever. They'll never believe it. Remember the scene in Lethal Weapon? When he's buying drugs, he's like, I'm a cop. And it turns out to be a shootout. That's exactly what will happen. That's why you don't arrest the bad guy. A separate team comes in and arrests you too. Because your whole worldview has been like, this is my drug partner. It's not a cop. It's the same thing with liberals. Their entire worldview is baked around bullshit. The rich don't pay taxes. Elections are always clean all the time. Look at what happens with the attack the messenger. So James O'Keefe, who's done a lot of exposés on some really amazing things and done really quality work throughout the years, was up on Capitol Hill yesterday with Nick Shirley and others. Listen to there's no Democrats even there. Show this first. This is the Fox Clip. The Democrats don't even show up because in the face of facts he brings to the table, they don't want to be told they're full of shit. Listen to this Fox
You've got
Clip.
some testimony from the person I kind of call as a fraud-busting hero. Nick Shirley is there. And you've got political activist James O'Keefe there. And a lot of Republicans in the room. And I think we have a shot of the empty seats all the way to the right. Yeah, right screen, and then off to the right of that, empty seats where Democrats would be sitting. I mean, how does this play out? Dems don't care about defrauding the American people?
No. I love Harris. No, she knows the answer. She's not really asking a question, right? She knows what she's saying. No, they don't. They didn't even show up. And then they go after O'Keefe. Why not address what he said? Why not address what he said? Because they can't. They claw at the faces. They crap themselves. Mommy's got to come in with the wipies and clean them up. Here's O'Keefe at the hearing yesterday. They had no response to this at all. They didn't even want to show up and hear it. They are the see no evil, hear no evil, taste no evil, nothing. They don't want any of their senses activated. Check this out.
We also found next ballot petitioners asking homes to sign in other people's names. We recorded over the shoulder one petitioner who took out his phone to access an online database to pull voter rolls and addresses. Quote, I have an Idaho address, said the voter. The petitioner says, I'm going to give you an address to write. Your name is Robert. Another says, I'm giving you a new name. So we visited the residence of those people who were disenfranchised. One of the names was Vicky Walker. The homeowner at that address said for 9 years he received election mail in the name of this Vicky Walker. In fact, he told me he'd received so many ballots in the name of Vicky Walker, he named his cat Vicky Walker. We returned to ask for comment from the petitioner who was offering drugs in exchange for signatures. The same individual who had threatened us earlier, he grabbed the petitions and hid them in his car.
We having any mic problems or something? No, I see. Oh, it was low. Okay, so I'm watching the chat. So why not just address what O'Keefe said instead of attacking him? You don't have to agree with him on everything. Why not just address it? Because, producer Jim, why? Because they don't want to. They don't want to tell you the truth. You don't have to be stupid. By the way, the Stupid is a Choice t-shirt is coming, right, Jasmine? It is. It'll be our first, I think, two-sided t-shirt. But it is coming. Stupid is a choice. Don't be stupid. Wear it to the gym. Don't let it start any fights. I'm just saying, stupid is a choice. It is a choice. You can show up at the hearing and listen to him and challenge him, James O'Keefe, but you chose not to because you chose to be stupid. You could have engaged in information exchange and gathered more information. You chose not to. You chose not. You chose to be dumb. Todd Blanche has to sit there and listen to that moron Adam Schiff with zero credibility. Why can't you sit there and just ask questions? Because you don't want the answers. This is a great clip. You know, I spent a lot of time in the South. Folks, I'm as Northeast as they get, okay? I grew up in New York. My first trip outside of New York and New Jersey. New York and New Jersey, like the same place. It's like the sixth borough. Ask anyone who grew up in New York, the first place they visit, New Jersey, back, you get it. My first trip, I kid you not, outside of New York and New Jersey. My grandmother lived in Eatontown, New Jersey. Anyone know Eatontown in the chat? God rest her soul. Was in the Secret Service Academy to go to Boston, where the paper company, I think it's Crane and Company, it makes U.S. currency, the paper. That was the first trip I ever took on a plane. So anyone out there telling you like, oh, this guy, he's rich now, silver spoon, you can shove that right up your ass. That we were as non-rich gets. Bologna sandwiches for dinner, like we were not rich at all. I never even got on a plane. It was so embarrassing. I didn't even know what to do. It's a true story. They were like, hey, you show them like the boarding pass. Remember, this is pre-TSA. This is like 1999. It was the last century. I didn't even know what to do. I get on a plane, I travel about. Bottom line is now I travel a lot, but I'm down in the South a lot. And I love, you know, Florida. The joke about Florida is the more south you go, the more north you get. Northern Florida is actually the South, but Southern Florida is a lot of the North. I love being in the South. So all of you listeners out there from Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, man, Alabama, where I'm at a lot. The South is a special place. I don't want to go on and on because I bring it up a lot, but it just is. And a lot of these European World Cup fans are finding that out now. Even when they want to curse your soul, they still do it nicely. Like, oh, bless your heart. I just can't get over that. Bless your heart. In New York, they say something quite different. You'll know. But the South is just an amazing, amazing place. I love every minute down there. At some point, I'm going to buy a house somewhere, probably in Auburn or somewhere else. I have to. I just love the place so much. So when I saw this yesterday, you got to hear this lady. This is great. This is a woman from the South. And she just goes and films this quick selfie video walking down the street about the South. This is some epic stuff. Check this out. Send it around. Take a look.
Down south, we don't deal with all that tomfoolery that y'all dealing with over there in New York City or California or Maine or Minnesota. You know, all you woke states. We don't deal with that. You see, round these parts, we believe in God, guns, and butter, and in that order. God, and his name is Jesus Christ. Let's not be confused. Pretty much all of us are conceal and carry. There will be no entering into every household in America, that part, and catch it. And we love to eat, so we put butter on everything. And I mean everything, that part. But also, we are very, very common sense and patriotic. See, unlike the Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, we know what a woman is, that part. And there will be American flags flying in everybody's yard, okay? So if you have a problem with that, you may not want to move down south. And last but not least, we believe in keeping our babies around here, okay? So Allah to your Akbar over there, you will not be entering into every household in America. And all that yelling and screaming in pro-lifers' face around these parts, don't work. You feel me? Because we hit back, that part. God bless. Welcome to the South.
Oh, yeah, we feel you. That was, what is it? Speak Your Voice First on Instagram. Speak Your Voice First on Instagram. Go put a comment on there. Oh, yeah, we feel you. I'm telling you, man, the South. Thanks, Beachy32, War Eagle. If you saw that, War Eagle, WDE. I love you folks in the South. Just consider me, if you'd be so kind, as one of your adopted sons. I really do. I'm happy I grew up in New York. It was a great place to grow up when I was a kid before it went totally crazy. But there's a part of me wishes I could have had a clone of me that grew up in the South and compare the two. I wonder how much different I'd be if I was a Dothan, Alabama, or Auburn resident growing up, or Tuscaloosa or anywhere else. I do. I wonder this a lot. I am an Italian kid, though, from New York. And if you were with a name like Bongino, it's kind of hard to, actually, my Italian friends told me it's Bongino, but everyone just said Bongino, so I kind of just rolled with it. It's like Buongiorno. So if you were an Italian kid from New York, a rite of passage, and I mean a rite of passage, like you had if you did not know every line from every Rocky movie, you were just like a fraud and a fake. You better know, because it would come up in conversation all the time. Someone would insert some Rocky line into you hanging out in Central Park in Queens drinking, Old English 40 dogs for dinner. Like, you better know your Rocky movies if you were part of like the Italian crew in Queens, right? I bring that up because, did you see this? There's a movie coming out about a movie. I'm only going to play a little bit of it, but Sylvester Stallone and the Rocky movies, the story of the Rocky movies is a movie in and of itself. How this thing happened is crazy. So there's a movie coming out, and the actor playing Sylvester Stallone, writing and starring in the Rocky movie, folks, this is the most eerie, and I mean that in a kind way, acting job, voice I've ever seen. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, you're going to think this is actually Sylvester Stallone playing himself. It's not. The actor even looks like him. Here's a quick part of this new movie coming out in the fall. The real movie. It's not like AI or anything. What's it called? I Am Rocky or something like this? Check this. I Play Rocky. Listen to this guy's voice. This is insane. Check this out.
You wrote this in 3.5 days. This is freaking good. Have someone like Chuck Bronson, or we could do Eastwood.
Guys, I play Rocky.
I have no idea what that means.
So the writer wants to be in it, as the lead. No, absolutely not. Throw some money at him. $25K.
No.
Raise the offer. Try 75.
You're parking cars, for Christ's sake, Sylvester.
No.
175. Go to 200.
No?
I'm not giving this up. Not for $1 million. Not for 10. Hey.
All right, now if you do this,
Comes with some strings.
if you ever fall 1 day behind schedule,
The meat's frozen solid.
they're gonna kick you to the curb.
You broke your hand.
And they can replace you with a real actor.
I don't even know what I'm doing is any good.
Just do the best acting of your life and everything will be fine.
How far behind schedule are they?
They're not.
You hyped up a lot.
This movie is
we
about
should just
having
do
a
another
movie
show.
for yourself. It's about going the distance. I put my heart and soul on the page. If I'm not willing to live up to what I wrote, then what's the point? So do you believe in me? Or not?
Man, I need to see this.
I thought you said you could box.
I lied.
Hey, I Play Rocky, folks. That thing, by the way, got 10 million. Yeah, American flags in the chat. You're right. For Sly Stallone, a great American star and a patriot, by the way, who didn't fall prey to this cancel culture woke bullshit ever. I've never met Sly Stallone. I know a lot of people who have. This guy is a patriot, loves his country more than any. American flags in the chat. And that movie is symbolic of the American underdog. The story is amazing. I've heard the story quite a bit. Sign me up day one for that freaking movie. And if anyone at I Play Rocky wants to send us and the team an advance copy, contact Jasmine, Justin, Josh, Andy. You can't contact Guy. He's out of the state right now. I don't know what he's doing, playing Flesh and Blood, whatever it is. Contact us. I promise we will sign an NDA. If you need a blood oath, I need to see this thing. I'll go buy. I don't even have a DVD player in my house. I will go buy one. Blu-ray. I'll put it on beta, VHS. I will find a beta machine on eBay. If you want to send this an advance copy, correct, fellas? We'll do a screening in the studio. If you don't want us to say it, we'll sign NDAs in blood, like Dracula or something. I need to see this movie, especially being an Italian kid from New York. I know it's based in Philly, whatever. I get it. You don't understand. It was like a thing in Queens. You know what I did on Thanksgiving? On Thanksgiving, I think it was that, or was it Christmas one year? It was one of like the big holidays. Me and my father were eating in a White Castle on Queens Boulevard, in a White Castle, waiting to go see, I think it was Rocky IV. That's what we did. I would say either like Thanksgiving or Christmas. That's how bad we wanted to see the movie. I'm not kidding. My dad's just like me. He's got the same last name. I love how that happens. Folks, we have to pick a comment of the day. Why? Because we like giving away money, because we love America and we want to celebrate 1776, and we're not liberals, so we actually know what it means. So every day we have the 1776 Live Club. If you want to see the rules, go to Bongino.com/1776. It's a simple contest. It's free. You just win the comment of the day. You're in the weekly drawing, and one of you win a cash prize every week. What's the cash prize? $1,776 for you. Who is the comment of the day today? These guys always surprise me. Josh, is this you? Josh is very good at this. What river did Washington cross when he crossed the Delaware? There you go. He entered into our weekly sweepstakes. We're working on our winner from last week. When we do all the vetting and the rules and all that, we'll announce who that is. I'm sorry. I have a little too much fun. Paula's calling me now. Hold on. Let me tell her. Stand by. Hey, we're still doing the show. You're not allowed to curse on the air. Did you hear her? She was, oh shit, I'm sorry. She never curses. Ever curses ever. Jasmine, have you ever heard Paula curse? Josh? Justin, you've been here like almost, that's what you just said. Did you hear that? Oh shit, I'm sorry. She never says that. Now me, on the other hand, is a little different. All right, make sure you, it's the summer, man. We're going to have fun. I promise. Just join the Live Club every single day. Join the party. Check out Haley at noon, rumble.com/Haley, Hayley, and the king of morning podcasting, Vince Colonnese, 8 a.m. Eastern time, rumble.com/Vince. Of course, you can go there and watch on demand anytime, but you want to be there in the Live Club. It's just a lot more fun. You could also go and watch online, rumble.com/Bongino. Download the Rumble app. It's free. Just download the app and give us a follow. It doesn't cost you anything. Really appreciate it. I will see you back here. Thanks for having some fun with us today. I'll see you back here tomorrow, Friday. Who's scheduled tomorrow? Is it Will Witt? Will Witt, amazing guest, scheduled tomorrow. Go watch some of his clips, do some homework before the show. You see how awesome he is. He's scheduled to be here, barring any schedule conflicts. Tomorrow is a guest, too. So check us out tomorrow. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Hey there, I'm Vince.
I'm Haley Caradia,
Host of Vince.
Host of Scrolling with Haley.
You can always catch my show right here
on the Bongino Report.
Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, weekday mornings.
Weekdays at noon. If you miss it, no worries. The show will always be
right here
and anywhere you find a podcast. Thanks for watching.